My name's Kate Morris. I'm an incoming senior studying social welfare and justice, peace studies, and psychology. I've been working at the center for 3 years now. I started working right away freshman year. I was looking for a job and saw something about the Center for Peacemaking and thought it sounded interesting. So I came in and talked to Sherry Walker about all the different student employment opportunities that the center has. I've held a couple different positions, but I've been working with PeaceWorks as a non-violent student educator for 4 semesters. In those semesters, I've been able to work in 5 different Catholic schools with 4 different adult staff members, which has been really interesting and really cool to see how different staff members teach the curriculum and also how different schools, classrooms, and age groups take those lessons and really implement it in their classroom. And it's really interesting because in every classroom I've been in, they have taken that information. And I haven't been in a single classroom that hasn't really fully embraced PeaceWorks. As a student educator, I also get to have those more one-on-one connections with the students, whether it's further explaining the lessons and activities to them to make sure that it really clicks with them, or just talking to them about their weekend, their interests, their friends. I've been able to make some really amazing connections with some awesome students and have been able to have some really important conversations about things going on in their life or struggles they're having, and have been able to implement what we've been talking about in PeaceWorks into their everyday life, which has been really cool and has been one of my favorite parts about PeaceWorks. We teach a wide variety of lessons, but my 2 favorites are grounding techniques and bully thoughts because they're very interactive and are also the 2 lessons that I feel like every single student in the classroom really grasps and gets involved with. With grounding techniques, we talk about being overwhelmed with your emotions, whether it's sadness or anger or anxiety, and we give them physical examples of things they can do to calm down. And it's really fun to teach them all and to hear about things that they've already learned about in other classes or at home, for how they kind of already ground themselves. And with bully thoughts, we talk about the negative thoughts that we all have and how they're not true and how we can kind of rewire our brain to talk about them. And it's really interesting to see those kids be so vulnerable in that lesson because they really share with themselves and with their peers and with us some of the things they're thinking and kind of what they're struggling with, which is really special to have that conversation and that dialect with them. It's also cool to see how faith and spirituality and gospel nonviolence can be incorporated into nonviolence education and how we do work that into our Catholic school curriculum. And also working in education has been inspiring for me personally. I've always wanted to be a social worker, and I didn't know that school social workers existed until I met the Jesuit school social worker at one of our PeaceWorks schools during a lesson and got to talking with him. And so now I know what I want to do when I grow up, so that's good. I've also been able to explore PeaceWorks in different communities. Like Priza said, I received a summer peacemaking fellowship from the center last year and was able to go to Washington, D.C. to work with an organization called Little Friends for Peace, which is a great nonprofit that's all about peacemaking and peace building. And I worked at their summer peace camps, which were basically our PeaceWorks lessons, but just full day, full week versions of it. It was so fun and super cool. And MJ and Jerry Park, the founders of Little Friends for Peace, were very interested in what Marquette and the center does and what our PeaceWorks lessons are like. So I got to talk to them all about our PeaceWorks lessons and kind of collaborate with them on that. And then also have the opportunity to take what I learned from Peace Camp there back to the center and to Milwaukee and PeaceWorks. Working at the center also is what inspired me to become a peace studies minor. I didn't know that existed until meeting some of my other student employees at the center, which is another thing that I love, is that whether it's the other student employees or the adult staff, I'm just constantly surrounded by such passionate people who are all working toward the same vision and same goal, but just in very different ways, which is really cool to be able to talk to everyone about what they're working on and what they're passionate about. And whether it's in peace studies classes or at the center or in PeaceWorks, my favorite thing about it all is just how universal the idea of peacemaking and peace building is. I've heard some great lectures and speakers and have read such amazing things. I've read books that I've stolen from the center and need to give back when we get back in the fall. Just such amazing things about issues that pertain to us all, how we all are in this society working together. We all have these skills that we can develop and conversations that need to be had. I always say that I love being able to talk to fifth graders about positive communication in the morning and then go home to my 20-year-old roommates and talk to them about positive communication as well. So I just am very lucky that the center has been such an incredible and huge part of my Marquette experience. I could not imagine what the last 3 years would look like without it. And I'm just very glad and proud to represent the center today and with my job and in everything.